And hi, everybody. Welcome to Proline, direct from Las Vegas. I'm Dave Cokin, joined by Jim Feist. We will be taking a look ahead to Week 12 of the college football campaign, plus get the goods on Week 11 in the NFL. First, Jim, if people want to subscribe to the channel, it's free, and they get great stuff for free as well.
They sure do, Dave. Just go to ProLineTV.com, click on the subscribe button, and you'll get notifications on new videos. Plus, you'll be sent a code to get 7 days of my service absolutely free. That's ProLineTV.com.
You know, I personally am basically never satisfied. And I think that's part of the reason I've stuck around doing what we do for this many years, closing in on 4 decades now, because I'm never satisfied. So things are going pretty well right now, but I want them to always go better. Some good results lately. Towson on Saturday had big college basketball play on them, and these exclusive games that I've been doing every week in college football have been outstanding. They're 3-1 now with the winner in New Mexico on Saturday. Got to tip my cap to Matt Wells, who completely screwed up the game at the end for Utah State. But sometimes you get a little bit of good luck, and you know that's a nice thing. So these plays are hitting 75% for the season now. That's pretty good. Even I'm almost satisfied with that. I've got an exclusive for this Saturday. This game will not be online anyplace. There's only one way to get it. It's $99, so I can't even say that it's just $99. It's $99. So this is for people who are playing a nickel or better. It's a serious play for serious players. Call toll-free 855-472-2577. I am going to put a guarantee on the game. You're going to win while the rest of the college football season is free, and that will include the bowl package. So the $99 is actually a pretty good investment here, and it's a really good play. 855-472-2577 for that guaranteed winner. Jim, 3-1 with your college football high rollers on Saturday at Penn State, Oklahoma, and now it's the annual turkey shoot, Thanksgiving special.
What do you like to stuff your turkey with, Dave? Money.
Oh, even better.
Money.
Yes.
That's right. My annual turkey shoot special. Play through Thanksgiving in all sports for just $29. That will include a high roller, a $500 high roller going tonight. Just call 866-546-9467. NBA, NFL, college hoops, college football, all for $29 through Turkey Day. That's right, 866-546-9467.
All right, so let's take a look at our Proline poll question of the week. We started doing this a few weeks ago. And look what happened this past Saturday. You had number 2, number 3, number 4. They all go down. So, and by the way, the odds on that, and we know this because somebody actually made a $2 bet on this.
$3.96.
It was 396 to 1 they got paid. So it was a $2 wager. And
I hope they got paid.
They got $792.
I hope they got paid.
It had silver sevens.
Oh, go. That's what it was.
Yes,
okay.
It was silver sevens, which was at the corner of Flamingo and Paradise.
I've never been in there.
Even when it was the Continental?
I've never been in there.
Wow. Oh, Cookie Jar used to perform there.
Cookie
yes.
Jar. Yeah, but Cookie Jar
he was everywhere.
He went everywhere. So I did see him.
He's still at the Paris, by the way.
He's still around.
He's still around.
Wow.
So anyway,
amazing.
We decided to go to our poll question, which is which current 2-loss team has the best shot of making the college football playoff? We gave you 3 selections: Wisconsin, Oklahoma, or Penn State.
Well, I think 53% of the people said Wisconsin. I don't know if I agree with that.
I would not agree with that.
I actually thought Penn State had a shot because I think they're going to win the Big Ten championship. But then you have issues.
They need some help from Michigan.
They need some help from Michigan. They've got to beat Ohio State. But I don't know. Can they take 2 from the same conference?
No,
I guess they
I don't
can.
know if they sure they can. They can take all 4 from the SEC if they want.
And what happens this week if West Virginia beats Oklahoma?
Nothing. I don't think. This is the Big 12's last shot.
This is it.
Oklahoma's playing well, and if they win out, they might have a chance at that 4th spot. Might.
Basically, the system is better than it used to be.
It still stinks.
But it still sucks.
Of course it does, because they're still voting. Look, we're not going to go into a long deal on this, and I don't want to upset Ohio State fans. Pat Williams, I know you're watching. I don't want to upset you with this. Okay? I think Ohio State is clearly one of the 4 best teams in the country.
They sure are.
But the fact is, unless Michigan beats Ohio State, unless Ohio State beats Michigan and Penn State loses one of their last two games to Rutgers or Michigan State, then Ohio State can't even make the Big Ten championship game. I'm sorry, but you can be one of the best four teams, but you can't vote this stuff. This is the problem with voting. Okay,
So
it
that's
has to be
putting-
based. You have to win. To me, you have to at least be in your conference championship game to have any chance.
Well, I don't know that that's the criteria that's out there today, but you may be
And
right.
Here's the problem, Jim. If let's just say that they go to, well, Ohio State, they sure look good, and they've only lost the one game, and they belong in. Okay, well then why are we even bothering to have conference champions or regular season games?
Well,
let's just pick the four best teams before the season starts, and we'll call the rest of these exhibitions. Then we'll get to the playoffs at the end of the year, and you four teams play.
Well, that's kind of like the NBA is. I mean, you play 82 games and half the teams get into the playoffs.
Right. Well, I don't want half getting into the playoffs, but they could, go to 8. Because your 8 is, personally, I could do even more than that, make it a tournament. But 8, you get the Big 5 conference champions all in. And then you have 3 at-large spots that this committee can vote on. And there's no reason not to do it, by the way.
If you go back a few years, we had no playoffs.
No, it was a joke.
It was a joke. It's still a joke, but it's a better joke than it had been in the past.
Yes,
I don't
great for
like
that.
it, but I like it better than it was.
I like it better than it was, too. But I still don't like it.
I agree.
I want to see the games decided on the field.
Agree.
And that's how you know who won. It's not guys sitting around a table and saying, well, this team's better than this team. Go out in the field and win. Ohio State, you lost to Penn State. That's the way it goes. Okay? All right, so let's look at something this weekend. Florida and LSU. This is the makeup of a game that got postponed earlier because of some very bad weather in the southeast. And it was supposed to be Florida's home game.
Yeah.
Now it's not. It's at LSU.
Total, I mean, everything changed.
I'd say everything changes here. McElwain's, I think, done a nice job at Florida. They still got limitations, but they're definitely improving.
They got a nice record this year. 7-2, 10-4 ATS away. They're going back a few. 4-5 ATS this year though, which is an impressive. Ed Orgeron comes in, and he's done a good job at LSU. Much better than they were doing with Miles.
Oh yeah. Although of course when they went up against Alabama,
but nobody beats Alabama.
They get shut out, completely shut down. It's amazing.
I don't know if Alabama could be on the field against somebody like the Browns, but because you don't have all professional athletes, and we understand that's kind of a silly statement, but they're that much better than the rest of the college football world. So it's not a shame to lose to Alabama.
No, this is not a game I'm going to play this weekend, but I'll give you a couple of pointers. One is that Florida knows what they have to do defensively, which is stop the run and force Etling to do things through the air.
Yes.
He was unable to do that against Alabama, and I suspect that he could be unable to do that against Florida to some extent. He's a transfer from Purdue where, let's face it, he wasn't a great quarterback at Purdue. I think he's a game manager, and that's about it. So Florida could be difficult on Etling, and the points are enough here so that if I had to make a bet, I think I would take Florida plus the points in this game.
You could squeeze in underneath the number for sure.
Yeah. If you want to ask us any Vegas sports wagering questions, go to ProlineTV.com. Drop us a question. Obviously, there's no cost involved. And speaking of not costing anything, be sure to hit the subscribe button when you're there to get 7 days of action free.
Absolutely. Plus, go to JimFeist.com for free stats, articles, videos, my free fast facts, and plays from the nation's top handicappers.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at the NFL Week 11, including Green Bay at Washington. As many of you are wondering, what the hell is going on with the Packers? Well, we'll try and tell you when we come back. All right, little NFL news and notes of the week, and then we will look at the Packers-Redskins game. I did see I think the strangest loss I've seen this season. Not from a point spread result, but the Saints-Broncos ending was unbelievable. And that's one of the cool things. You put in a little bit of a twist. This never would have happened
No.
Under the old rules, where the extra point was an automatic.
Right.
Extra point gets blocked here, and it happens. One of the Broncos picks it up and gets down the length of the field, 2 points. They win the game by 2 points, and that was fun to watch. Unless, if you're a Saints fan, it wasn't. But
Well, I lost a bet on that, but what are you going to do? I had a money line on.
oh, money line, okay.
I had a money line on the Saints, which, that wasn't good. But you're going to turn the ball over as much as they did and make bonehead plays. You deserve to lose. So
And they had 4 turnovers along the way.
yeah,
so.
I mean it was totally a fiasco. One of the Saints.
It was more exciting than the Jets game, which I won. I had the Rams, but
I had the Rams as well, and I had the under, which was sweet. That was never in doubt. They need 10 overtimes to make that happen.
they've won 2 games now without scoring a touchdown, and they're going to Goff this weekend.
Let's talk a little bit about
which begs
Goff.
the question: how much are you going to offer Tony Romo? No.
Well, this is they're the
Why not?
They're the discussions I want to have. Romo did a classy thing yesterday. He comes out and he makes the announcement that this is Dak's team basically, and he realizes his position. I don't remember anybody ever doing that.
Classy guy.
Classy guy, classy move. Chances are, unless there's really a blow up by Dallas this year, he won't be there next year. I mean, they can't afford to pay both guys.
I got 3 teams.
So do I.
Okay, the
Rams.
Bears.
Oh, the Bears. Okay.
That's kind of it. He went to school at Eastern Illinois. Bears clearly need a quarterback.
That's one I didn't have. You're right.
The Jets, who always are looking to make a big splash signing, and they don't have a quarterback. And I think the Rams, even though they drafted Jared Goff, I think by the end of the season they might be convinced that Jared Goff might not be the long-range answer. There was some who felt he wasn't going in. Right now they look pretty good, although we'll find out more this weekend. And the Rams would be a good fit for Romo. I do think Romo will only go, if he has his way, to a big, big media market.
The problem with the Rams, in my opinion, is they paid a lot of money and they drafted number 1 to Goff. So they have a little bit of investment, and I'm sure Kroenke had a lot to do with Fisher changing to go to Goff this week because he absolutely said he wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
So I think the owner made this decision. Now, you talk about Jacksonville. They clearly have a quarterback there that can't play at this level.
No, his mechanics are
Terrible.
horrific.
Terrible.
And that's not from me, okay? That's from
No.
people who really know quarterback mechanics, because I don't. But these are people who really do know their stuff. His footwork is awful. He's not accurate. And he needs, basically what they're saying is he needs a total rebuild. Well, you're 3-4 years in, a little late for that.
True. So I think Jacksonville's an option because they have a good squad. They need a better coach.
But with Romo,
Well, there's going to be some personal decisions in here too.
let me throw this out real quick. I do think this is a possibility. I think Romo will only go to a few markets. And if he can't get into one of those markets, I think he'll retire.
How about Arizona? Palmer is done.
Kind of looks that way, doesn't it?
They need a quarterback.
I don't know.
And they have a good coach. They got a good team. They're pretty solid. They're contenders. And he could go there.
Could.
And I don't
I'm
know.
not sure Phoenix is. And look, I don't know Tony Romo, so I could be all wet
He
on
loves
this.
to play golf.
But yeah. But he
So
also
he wants a warm climate.
I think he's also got his next career in mind, because this guy's he's not going into coaching. Let's put it that way, okay? He's going to be on TV, and I think that, to me, puts him in a situation where, especially with his health issues, I think he'll only go top media market. That's and you could be right. I mean, Arizona certainly, Romo on that Cardinals team might be pretty good.
I know one thing is we get a little older and we start to have bumps and bruises and injuries that we had when we were teenagers and young adults. Cold weather doesn't make you feel better.
No.
Okay. So this guy has been hurt a million times
But he grew
in
up
his
in
career.
it, so.
But he's older.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you go someplace warm, he's going to feel better. He's going to have half his games in a warm climate. So my guess is he's going to go somewhere that'll pay him the big bucks. I don't think the Jets will do it. Chicago, I mean, they have a big problem there with Cutler.
Well, he's gone.
He's gone, but they still owe him a lot of money.
Well, he's gone anyway. They just can't keep sending him out there.
I'm going to say Arizona is. I don't think he's going to go to San Francisco. I don't think he'd even agree with that, to go to a team that's broken down that much, which they need. They need help. But anyway,
speaking of needing help, what the hell's going on with the Packers?
Well,
wow.
There's obviously some clubhouse locker room problems there. The head coach and the quarterback, Rodgers, they don't seem to get along. I mean, they just totally have collapsed. That division is very interesting right now. You got the Bears.
The Lions are in the best shape.
And Stafford's got some great ratings.
He's got a bunch of home games coming up.
His quarterback rating this year is over 100.
Yeah. They don't beat anybody by a lot. And that's why even this weekend you look at it and say, well, I laying that many points with Detroit, even against a bad team, I don't think I can do it. But the Lions actually are in the best shape in that division.
Right now, the Lions are the best team in that division today.
Yeah.
Because the other teams are hurt.
So the Packers now, and this is interesting. I talked with Jeff Sherman on Tuesday. He runs he's the manager of the race and sports book at the Westgate. And I asked him, look, the Packers have been getting a ton of public money, week after week after week. I said, when do they get off this train? Because it's a train to nowhere. And he said, well, they started to last weekend.
Okay.
And he thinks that the Redskins will be the public side this weekend against Green Bay. I don't think I really don't think you'll get the sharp money showing on Green Bay, though. And a lot of times the sharps want to, they see what the public's doing and they want to go the other way. But it's kind of like with Dallas. The public's cleaning up on Dallas. If the sharps have stopped going against Dallas for a pretty good reason, although I guess some did it last week against the Browns. They're not that sharp if they did, if you're asking me. I can't play the Packers right now, and even though I know they've priced me out of the game in all likelihood on the Redskins, but that's the only side I'd play.
It's a reasonable price right now. It's 2.5 minus 15. That's not terrible.
I mean, I'm not exactly enamored with the Redskins either. But
why not?
They're doing away.
I mean,
they're finding ways to win games. I thought the Vikings.
Cousins is having a good year.
Not bad.
And they won the division last year. Take a look at this division: Giants,
it's a good
Philly,
division.
Dallas, Washington. Where are the playoff teams coming from in the NFC?
Well, I think Dallas is going to make it.
Okay, so Dallas wins the division. Now the wild cards. Do we get 2 wild cards out of the East?
I don't think it's impossible.
No, it's not. It's not impossible.
Not coming out of the West, because Seattle looks like they've got that, and then Arizona's struggling. The other two teams can't play.
Definitely struggling.
It's not coming out of the North at this point.
No.
It's certainly not coming out of the South, because the Panthers just can't. They're not getting it together. So Atlanta looks like they're in pretty good shape in that division.
It sure looks like 2 wild
somebody
cards
could
coming
get
out
hot,
of the East.
but right now it does look like it's likely
this is the time of year where you separate the pretenders from the contenders. And right now, what I look for is teams that are giving up, trying to, the teams that they're not going anywhere, and they're trying to juggle some stuff, and they're not going to be consistent. And teams that are going to take off, that's where the money's made. If you can grab onto that horse that's got hot at the right time, because you got more than half the season gone.
Well, in any case, a couple of numbers from the Packers-Redskins game. 6-1 against the spread. It's a nice roll for the Redskins. Second straight home game. They're 4th offensively in yards, middle of the pack in points. Not a lot of good things to say about the Packers' defense. Their offense, their offense is actually starting to come around some. I think the Eddie Lacy injury hurt him.
I mean, they got a premier quarterback. I mean, the guy's great.
I know where the square money will show on this game is on the over, and they might be right.
Well, we do have to check weather.
Oh, yeah.
This is the time of year where you have to look at weather. We're living in Las Vegas. We go outside. It's nice all the time.
Thank goodness.
So we kind of forget how bad the weather can get on the East Coast or central United States. We have to check the weather and know what's going on by game day. A lot of wind can affect the game quite a bit. And, of course, rain and snow.
We have free plays available that viewers can get right on their cell phone, and it's really easy.
That's right. You just text the word GAME, G-A-M-E, to 25827, and you'll get a free play right to your cell phone. That's GAME, G-A-M-E, to 25827.
All right, we're going to continue with some NFL betting notes, plus the Monday night battle in Mexico City between the Texans and the amazing Oakland Raiders. Stay tuned. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at a few more NFL notes, and then we'll get into the game in Mexico City that's being played between the Houston Texans and the Oakland Raiders. The Bears, last weekend was a good weekend for the books, really good weekend. They did well on Saturday. They did extremely well on Sunday. It's not like that every week for the books. The players had actually been doing quite well.
They got destroyed the previous week.
Yep, but the books got healthy this weekend.
They did.
And one of the games that they got healthy on was the Bears. There's a lot of money on the Bears in their matchup against Tampa, and they go out and lay a complete egg. Bears opened the dog in that game, actually went off like -3. The only touchdown they had was on a Hail Mary at the end of the first half, which was just a lucky play. Cutler was absolutely horrible. And
Dave, you just can't trust the guy.
Enough.
You just can't trust him. He has the ability, all the ability in the world. We always said that. He coming out of Vanderbilt. But I don't know if he's a head case. I've never met the man. I've never talked to the man. He seems like he's a head case. He's always
when he goes
sulking.
bad, he goes real bad.
Oh, God. If he makes one mistake, it's like the end of the world.
He made 3 last week. He had 3 turnovers in the first half.
You just can't
2
trust
picks,
him.
a fumble, and he basically took the Bears out of the game.
If you want to bet the Bears, bet them as a dog, and even then you're questionable. But don't bet them as a favorite, especially on the road.
Do we stick a fork in the Carolina Panthers? They'd won a couple in a row, got to 3 wins, starting to build a little momentum. They've got a 17-3 halftime lead against the Chiefs. At worst, it looks like they're going to go to overtime. Then they got greedy at the end. Newton fumbles. And that's the ball game. Kansas City wins. Great win for the Chiefs, who, by the way, are 17-2 in their last 19 games. Wow. And as for the Carolina Panthers, I think, maybe it's time to stick a fork in them.
Big game this week on Thursday with this team. The division that they're in, and remember, we've always said the division games are the most important because if you win your division, you get into the playoffs. You don't even need to have a good record. You can be 7-9, win your division, and you're in the playoffs because the rest of the teams in your division suck. Well, the only team playing well, reasonably well in this division is Atlanta.
Right. New Orleans was a very costly loss for them last weekend.
Now, this week, the Saints play the Panthers.
Yep.
The winner of that game, or I should say the loser of that game,
See ya.
definitely stick a fork in.
Yep.
So next week we'll have that answer. The Panthers have this off-field stuff going on with Cam. He's got a lot of complaining, a lot of media stuff, too much showboating within the game.
I completely agree.
The kid is all the talent in the world, kind of like a Cutler. Head case. It just can't get his.
His upside's spectacular.
Oh,
But enough. I don't have a problem with celebrations and stuff like that, but quarterbacks are a little different. When you're a quarterback, you're supposed to be kind of the coach, wearing a uniform, and he just has to put on this show after every touchdown. And you know what? I think it's worn thin. I don't like it. Celebrate with your teammates, not by yourself, which is basically he waves his teammates away so he can do his
There's
his
another
own thing.
side to this that people don't talk about. When you celebrate like that, you're basically shoving it in the face of your opponent.
Which is part of the reason they give him a little extra.
Yeah.
A little,
Okay, so
in the
we're
words of
gonna
Ben Dreeth, they give him the business.
they give him a little bit more whoop when they hit him,
Yep.
and I think you're asking for it. Now I know he's big, strong. It's hard to hurt him, all that stuff. But eventually, one of these guys is going to nail you. You gotta play the game with a little bit more class.
I would agree with that. All right, so let's look at the game between the Texans and Raiders. And, Houston's 6-3. I mean, it's an ugly 6-3 to be sure, but they are
Ugly division.
They are 6-3, which I guess is a good thing. The Raiders are 7-2, and they've been an impressive 7-2. 5 East Coast road trips, they win them all, and now they make another trip to Mexico City here, and they'll be the favorite this weekend against the Texans, and they're a better-looking team.
The NFL must hate this team. 5 East Coast trips. Nobody gets 5, and now they give up a home game and have to play in Mexico City.
They can't wait to get to Las Vegas, so they won't have to give up these home games anymore.
Do you think they'll ever come?
Oh yeah, I think they're going to be here.
Okay, I hope you're right. But anyway, let's talk about the Texans. The Texans are in a bad division. There's nobody really of quality there. The up-and-coming team in this division, to me, and quite frankly, I bet them, I think I got 8 or 9 to 1, to win this division was Tennessee. I thought that they had a decent upside, talent-wise, head coach.
Well, their
better
big,
than
their big
average.
game is this weekend.
Huge game.
If they beat Indianapolis, they can win that division. But meanwhile, Houston's still 6-3, despite the fact that Osweiler has been awful. 99 yards passing last week. He was terrible against the Jaguars.
You think he might be overpaid?
Well, you know, maybe the Broncos kind of knew. Maybe they knew what they were doing.
I'm actually shocked. I thought the kid would be. Well, he's not really a kid anymore, but I thought he was going to be a lot better than this. He looks absolutely awful.
Yeah, he does. Derek Carr doesn't look awful. And
Derek Carr.
Nothing on the Raiders looks. Carr is emerging now as, you know, in that the last few years, the top draft picks, he looks like the cream of the crop.
You can't say much about their defense, but this kid, this Carr, he is a superstar in the making. He very accurate, great. I mean, decisions are awesome. I love their offense. I don't know if their defense takes them very far.
17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Is pretty good, huh?
I know.
The defense still gives up a ton of yards.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Houston can take advantage of that here because they've just been very inconsistent offensively.
Keep in mind, they're playing at 7,500 feet here.
Yep.
This can slow anybody down. This is about the elevation of Wyoming. They're 2,000 feet above Denver.
Probably a better Mexican food, though.
I'll give you that.
I've never heard anybody.
I'll give
I've
you
never yet, and this is not meant to be a slight on Laramie, but I've never yet heard anybody say that. No, I'm going to go to Laramie because they get some great Mexican food.
I don't think they have Mexican restaurants in Laramie.
No, I'm not counting Taco Bell.
Well, Matt goes there all the time. You have to ask him.
I will ask him.
Okay.
That's a good idea. All right. So anyway, do we have a consensus on this game?
Well,
I mean, I love the Houston defense, but I don't think anybody's stopping the Raiders' offense right now. So, and the Raiders' defense still kind of sucks. I got a feeling we're going to see the ball in the air, and I think we're going to get some points.
I didn't bet the game, and I don't know what I'm waiting for on it, but my guess would be is the over.
Okay.
I think the over. I think defenses have trouble stopping an offense like this, which means that Houston's going to have to put the ball up a little bit more than they want to. But their offense in yards is 30th. In points, it's 29th. In passing, it's 32nd. This is an awful offense.
Oh, it's terrible.
But the defense on the other side for Oakland is really bad. So I'm going to say probably over.
All right. If you want to get free plays every day, where am I? Over here. On a recorded message. This is from our team of Vegas experts at jimfeist.com. 888-478-9222.
And follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jim Feist Sports. And feel free to send me a direct message with any questions you may have regarding Vegas wagering.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We will see you again next week with another edition of Proline.